Hi, I'm Jonathan Parks of Jonathan's Nature Crafts, and welcome to this series where we challenge ourselves to carve a set of Santas that are of both a cosmic Santa and an Uncle Sam Santa pattern. As I had had not so much experience in carving these and kind of wanted to keep the channel going, I decided to record the series in April where I kind of did the challenge series. And each original video was of a different length and kind of just depended on what kind of time we had, what state of mind I was in, what instructions I was given at the time, and that was why they all kind of ended at different places. So whenever I ended an original video, I would kind of give a little closing remark and give a little goodbye or something at the end just to kind of signify that it was the end of that recording. But given the possibilities, it turned out that the videos were of all these different lengths and couldn't be made for enough of a series to last. And it just so happened that for the steps involved, the series had to go into August just to keep it long enough, even though it was originally recorded to show up in July as a Christmas in July series. So I decided to take all the original videos and put them into one combined video that I decided to divide up into 15 segments. So even though there may be places in the video where it may seem like I'm ending it as of where I end a certain recording, the end of the video in this series will actually be at the place where you see a big black rectangle that says in white letters, "To be continued." So, thank you for watching and hope you will enjoy the series. Or the way we expected, but we know sometimes, just sometimes, think about a verse in Isaiah that says, "And I, the Lord, will make it happen at the right time." I know I've been watching some YouTube videos on that little book, and Isaiah is kind of considered like a little Bible. It's a book in the Bible that has 66 chapters, and just like the Bible itself has 66 books. And some people just kind of think that that one book is almost like a little Bible itself, because it kind of has a way that it sort of outlines different things of the scripture and the text and all the ways the prophecy just tells about things to come. I mean, it tells about the time when the Messiah is going to come the first time. It gives references to when he comes the second time. And sometimes, just sometimes, you'll kind of notice when you get down to chapter 66 and look in some of the very last verses, you see a little things that refer to the end of times as well. So we know there's just some of these things that measure up to our degree and make us see a little light of day in us. And come to think of it, just get the little palm out and just put little Santa in its own, oh no, freaking place. Not a lot we say or do these days, because we work generously to provide for souls that are so much in need. And, you know, there's charities out there that feed the hungry and stuff. All the things that old St. Nick would have done, I say. And happy times for this little month we're doing this. And finally just get down to where we just see the final doings in the little hats. And so there's going to be other challenges we're going to kind of take over time where we'll do other freaking little things now and then just to kind of see how a thing or two gets in place. But I know sometimes, just sometimes, there's going to be little things we like to share, and might just come down to where I might take care of a little beard here. Try to get the little knife in place where we can get the beard into the little ho-ho closet. And I mean, that's what I knew a kid once who called him was ho-ho closet. And sometimes kids call him ho-ho when they're little, but they start calling him Santa Claus as they get older. So I'd say there's many challenges we're going to face in life. We don't know what the heck they are, what they're going to do, and everything else, but I know sometimes, just sometimes, when we just have a little success in our ways, we can manage just things that just talk about us and to us and through us, and see how a fancy little job can make something come right up to us. So I like to see how this is going to look when it comes down to the very end. And you know, kind of want to say that we might need to do some work into these Uncle Sam Santas too, and we'll get around to that sooner or later. Probably just kind of see how we can flatten off the brims of their hats here and take that little step into line and show how it's gonna work for us, and maybe come up on the brim of this hat too and just do a little working in place and kind of just, get a little something out of the freaking thing that shall glide it over to where we just see the nice little things we just sure measure out of it. And I know sometimes there's just little things we gotta do just to, and I say that was a little chip off, but it's no big deal, because when it comes time to round the hat off, that's probably going to be a necessary little thing. So, I mean, some things here we probably gotten them too thin, and we'll manage that later. But I know sometimes that there's going to be other little things we'll take care of and get a little further down the line with, and it's going to be good for the brim to be a little thinner, because the hat itself is going to be a little thinner too when we get down to working on it. So crap to that, I tell you, we kind of got something we're going to have to glue back in place now, but I'd say that again, it's manageable, and we'll take care of that as soon as we can. So I'd like to say that I thank you all for coming together here. Hope you all have a blessed day and take care. Well, now, come on, and might just kind of try to, like I say just continue how this little bitty series might go, and see how we can just, make little things from everything we got, and, you know, just try to, like, get something in place where we just kind of get the right spot in for the little hats, like I kind of showed in around the time of the last little video I did just how it kind of worked, and just try to get a little thing or two in place. So, I'd probably just say that we kind of got enough wood taken off last time around that, it just kind of thought it chipped a little too much off, but come around to it, we're going to try to get it so we can get the top of this hat thin enough that the brim of this one will show out. And sometimes, just sometimes, these hats, they just kind of make me think about Professor Hinkle. Sometimes I think about whenever I kind of watched that as a little kid, but it wasn't until I got much older that I started to kind of understand the story so much better about Frosty and about for Professor Hinkle and about his hat. And something that I could never observe or understand or figure out about it as a kid was trying to figure out whether Professor Hinkle ever got his new hat at the end after he wrote a letter of apology to Santa for locking Frosty in the greenhouse and all. But I did a little Google search and found out he did, because that's actually what they show in the credits at the end. He is seen in the credits with his new hat, kind of doing tricks with it as he walks along with the kids. Just kind of chipped a little bit off the brim there, but again, we can kind of get a little spot in place where we'll take care of that a little more, because, some of these things, they're likely to happen, and we're going to have to deal with it here and there. But I say, just kind of get it where if it chips off a little too much, we can just kind of round it back out a little bit. So kind of take things a little moment or two here, just kind of put little strange things in place. Something also just kind of makes me think about something from when I was a kid, about that Christmas in July thing they had on Nickelodeon over the summer, and something with that about that Timmy on Lassie. I mean, of course, the original Lassie show wasn't on Nickelodeon. It originally came out before my time, but Nickelodeon played reruns of it, and it was like in July they were having a little Christmas episode of Lassie where Timmy Martin was up before the class singing Silent Night, and I was kind of pretending, kind of being silly, pretending not to know what was going on, and asking why he was singing that in the middle of July. And my sister kind of made a little funny comment. She said, Timmy must have she said something about his calendar, like his calendar must be messed up or something like that. Don't remember exactly what it was, but we were all just kind of joking around, cutting up, being silly. Because, I mean, I truly was aware of what was going on Nickelodeon at the time. Just, like we say, get a little silly here and there like we do. I mean, you know, sometimes, just sometimes, I feel like the older you get, you know, there's been people in this world who just always felt like you were just, wasting their time with your silliness and all. But I say, just little crazy thoughts and ideas can just tell us all that we got little strange little ways about us where we just see whatever we need to see. So I'd probably tell you all that this brim of this hat is pretty thin, and we're going to kind of work our way into it as we go, but maybe just kind of put things along in little spectacles here and there, just kind of like get a little something where this little piece of wood is sticking out right here from beyond where it was in the saw. So kind of got to get that down, make it a little flatter, and see how this is just one of the things where we got to round out the top. And as we've already rounded off the brim, that just kind of gives a little good. But, sometimes I could say that my little awesome work is just treasuring you all, telling you all that y'all are just kind of great sighted in me, and you know all the little things I'll share about life with you all. You know, just kind of know that y'all will just kind of make it along and see where a little mighty work kind of makes its own way. Sometimes I say that there's things in life we kind of have our anxieties about, but nonetheless, I like to keep on working at things. I like to keep on going. Like to be just like the Energizer Bunny, the battery that keeps going and going. Oh, I tell you all the things we heard about on TV when we were kids, and all the little fake commercials they'd have where right in the middle of those fake commercials, that little Energizer Bunny would come out just advertising the battery, telling you that nothing outlasts it, that it keeps going and going. All the things that kind of make us have little things